Hey there, and welcome to episode 2, finally, of Cast Reflect. We made it to the second episode. I'm your host, Josh Murphy, and I'm joined, as always, by Conall Luke the Truth Jennings.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, dude. How's it going?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Not bad.
It's been a little while. It's been a little while since we did the first episode.
The longest break I've had speaking to you in a long time.
I think it is, actually. Yeah, I think it is. It's been like 2 weeks. No, it's not been that long, has it? I'm not sure.
Been poorly, haven't you?
Yeah, I have been poorly, to be fair. That's why this episode is going to be out about 6 weeks later than the than the first one. What have you been up to? How's it been going?
Yeah, it's been good. Tried out a few new games. I finished The Last of Us 2.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
First time?
Yeah. First
awesome.
time. First time.
What
did
you think?
Well, I think we should just save that for its own episode, really.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I
Okay,
mean?
well...
Because we could just talk about that for a long time.
Yeah. Spoiler for the next episode, we're probably going to do The Last of Us anyway, because it will have been the end of the show.
Yeah.
And we've both been watching it. You've just finished The Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah.
It would be cool to talk about that. So I think we'll probably do that next week anyway.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
So we'll save that.
I have got a shout out, actually.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I've been playing a game on Steam called Peglin.
Peglin?
Peglin. So
Right.
it's really weird. It's hard to explain. Do you remember the game Peggle?
Oh, mate, I used to love Peggle.
Yeah, Peggle is so good, right?
Is it like Peggle?
Do you know Slay the Spire?
Yeah.
It's basically Peggle mixed with Slay the Spire. So you have like a board of pegs and you fire the ball down. And then at the top you've got enemies and a little goblin that's you. And then every the more pegs you hit in succession, the more your multiplier goes up, and then the more damage you do each attack. But obviously then they attack you on their turn. So you've got to try and beat them by playing different shots, and then you unlock different balls which have different abilities. Like some are multi-balls, some are like
that sounds
increased
wicked.
damage. And it's just a really small developer. I think hang on. Red Nexus Games.
Oh, wicked. Never heard of them.
And it's just a little, I got it for 15 quid on Steam, and it's really good. It's only a few hours long. I think it's, it's early access still. So I think they're adding more balls and more classes.
More balls.
More balls.
Nice. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's really good.
I didn't really play a lot of Slay the Spire, but I absolutely caned Peggle. Me and Carly platinumed the second one, I think. Yeah, we just took it in turns, like just playing a level over and over until we got it perfect. I did like everything you needed to do. Was it you had to get 3 stars or something?
Yeah.
For each level.
Yeah, so this is just a roguelite version of Peggle, basically.
Oh, that sounds well good. Peglin.
Peglin, yeah. Peglin.
They should make a new Peggle. They should, why have they not made a new Peggle?
Oh, here you go, mate. Don't need to. You've got Peglin.
Because they made Peglin, and it's 2 games in one.
2 games in one.
Yeah, that sounds really good. That sounds really, really good. I'm actually going to check that out. What was it, £15?
Yeah.
15 quid. Rad. I'm going to look at that. Is it multiplayer? Can you play it against each other?
Unfortunately not. That would be amazing.
That's a shame, isn't it? I was going to say we could definitely play that, couldn't we?
Hey, it's early access. Who knows, mate? Maybe this podcast to make it blow up. Get all that funding money in.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
It's up for loads of awards by the looks of it.
Is it?
Yeah.
When did it come out?
2022, 25th of April.
Oh, so it's not been out ages and ages then. Nearly a year.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm absolutely going to check that out because that sounds right up my street. Tell you what, I have been playing.
Go on.
Well, I've been playing 2 games. One a lot more than the other, as you can probably guess. We've both been playing Atomic Heart.
Yeah.
I'm really curious to know what you think of it because I have such mixed feelings on it so far. I think it.
Yeah.
I think it looks insane. So I'm playing it on PC, pretty much at max. I think pretty much max everything,
Same, yeah.
and it looks and plays like beautiful. Like it's a ridiculous. I think it's made in Unreal, the new Unreal Engine, isn't it? Is it
I think
5?
so, yeah.
Unreal 5.
Yeah, yeah.
4.
That's the new
It's
one.
5, isn't it?
5.
Yeah, it looks amazing. The sound design's amazing. I the, this is gonna be a really lazy thing to say, but it is basically BioShock. It is basically BioShock.
Yeah.
Set in an alternative history, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
where the Russians won the war, and well, they did win the war, but you know what I mean. They just advanced through science tenfold,
And they made
like 1,000-fold.
Made an AI that became like globally sought after. Then so that became like a superpower. Yeah. Look.
Yeah.
So the first thing I'll say is it's a very weird time to release a celebration of Russia video game.
Yeah.
Like especially the start of that video game. It's like it's like a celebration of Russia as a superpower.
Yeah, and all the political ideologies that come with that as well. And
it's a weird time to be releasing that game. To be honest.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's almost like the elephant in the room because it is just a video game, and we are just going to talk about video games in this podcast. But it's important to note that is an incredibly serious thing happening, and it is worth noting that yeah, you're correct. Like that is a weird time to release a game. I'm surprised they didn't delay it, if I'm honest. But
yeah, I mean,
the game's
out. I wonder because from what I've read, right, they're not, and like I don't want to make this massive political podcast because then I just won't want to do it anymore. But the like from all that I've read, they're not supportive of the war. The one of the, I think maybe the director of the game gave his proceedings to the Red Cross Ukraine charity. So they're not like supportive of the war, but it's just like I wonder how far in development they were when the war started.
Well, they must have been, you know, coming to the tail end of it because
like were they
it was nearly a year ago.
We can't redo it. This. Do you know what I mean? Do you reckon it was like that was the situation? I don't know, but yeah, it's weird time.
Yeah,
definitely.
And it depends on the publisher as well, like what the publisher.
Well, yeah, because you don't know how it works. Like, are they getting pressure from the publisher for the release as well? And
yeah,
like,
exactly.
Yeah, you don't. It's hard to know. But yeah, anyway, outside of that, as a game itself, I have quite a few talking points around it. Anyway,
yeah. Well, go for it, mate. Go for it.
So I agree, it absolutely looks amazing. I actually weirdly read articles before I started playing it saying about how it's not going to have ray tracing when it lands on PC.
Oh no!
I don't like. It looks amazing. Like
yeah,
I'm sure ray tracing would make it look even more incredible, but it still looks amazing.
Yeah, that was the most striking thing for me. I think when I started playing it,
and the audio, the music in it's amazing as well. It's really good. Like when it kicks off and the music starts blaring.
Yeah.
That's really good. And yeah, it is quite similar to BioShock, especially when you first get the arm. Like where you can like shock people or freeze people or whatever, like with the abilities on your hand in your glove.
Yeah.
When you first start using that, it suddenly feels very much like BioShock.
Well, it's that you know, power one hand, and then your weapon, your more traditional weapon in the other. I think, yeah, BioShock really. I mean, I would love eventually to do a special on BioShock because I think it's so one of the best video games ever made. But
how far did you play? How many hours did you put into it?
So I played about 5 hours. I want to say.
What?
I want to say about 5 hours.
Did you just make up a number?
4 hours.
5 hours.
About
making
5
up numbers.
All right. Do you know what I mean? I was going to say 4 or 5, and then I ended up just committing to 5 because I think it's probably closer to that. Um,
Yeah.
So I don't get me wrong, I haven't played it for ages, but long enough for me to know that I'm not keen on it. But
Yeah. I've done 8 and I think I'm done with it.
wow, yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, where did you get to?
I can't even remember. This is the thing. For me, I found it so samey. Like I found it so samey. I thought the gameplay was fun. Like the melee felt really good,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. The physics and stuff when you hit the robots was really good.
yeah,
Did you get to a
definitely.
boss fight?
No, I don't think so.
The boss fights
No.
are really good. Like,
Oh, really?
yeah, really good. Like Hedgie, I think the first one's called, and it's like a ball that rolls around this arena.
Oh no, I did. I just in that big area in the middle. I did just get to that.
And
That's
you
where
have
I
to
got
like
to.
put the things up, and it blocks him when he rolls that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really fun, and they're quite hard. I just got to I just beat like the second big boss, which is called Pleish or something, and it's like a weird
Right.
tentacle demon goo thing, and that's mega hard as well. But I sort of cheesed it,
Right.
which like again is probably brings me to the next thing about it is it's a bit buggy. It looks really
Yeah.
polished and it feels really smooth, but like I just got stuck in terrain 3 times, and the first time I
Really?
was like, oh whatever. Second time I was like, I'm not gonna mention this when we talk about it on the podcast, but
No.
it is a bit like annoying that it's happened twice. Then the third time I was like, oh, forget it.
I'm done. Because you can't quick save either, can you? You can't quick save. Yeah. So I think because I don't want it. I want this podcast to be like it's supposed to be a celebration of video games.
Yeah.
Like that. I want us to be way more positive than we are negative about stuff, because there's far too much fucking negativity about just stuff in general, but especially video games. There's too many fucking weasels out there just moaning about stuff, and it's like just like if you don't like it, don't worry about it.
Yeah,
mate.
just
let
stop
someone
playing
else.
it.
But equally, I'm gonna say, if I didn't like a game, I wouldn't say I wouldn't recommend it, but this just didn't do it for me. There were things I really liked about it, and things that I was like, I wish, like, I really feel like the sequel to this will be amazing, because I think they would have learned so much. And bear in mind that I've only played 5 hours of it, so it's not like I can give you a thorough review, but that's not what I'm here for.
There was just so many parts of it that were really good, and then it just went like just the mission structure. It was just go to this place, realize you can't get in at that place, and then have to go and collect things from other places, and then go back to that place, and then you go somewhere else and find the same thing. And it's like, why just be a bit more inventive with that? And the waffle, mate, the waffle.
Oh, between
Unbearable.
so it's Jensen Ackles, isn't it? He's Soldier Boy in The Boys, who I really like as a voice actor, actually, because I thought he was excellent in The Boys. I know he was typecast as a bit of a cheeseburger, like in like teen rom-coms and stuff.
Yeah,
when he was a bit younger, but his voice is awesome. But it's relentless banter between him and Charles, isn't it?
And it's just non-stop. I literally stopped playing it at one point because they just wouldn't shut up. I was like, oh my God, I need like peace and quiet.
Yeah, I need 5 minutes just to get this, just sort this out.
Felt like I was just sitting in like, you ever been like stuck with a couple and they're having like an argument and you're just like sat there really awkward.
Yeah, like the awkward third wheel. Yeah.
It's just like that.
Yeah, that is kind of what it's like. Game. So I shouldn't be feeling like this. I'm the one like controlling these. Well, yeah, it's a shame because on paper it looks really good. But for me, it didn't have the polish and like, that panache. And BioShock and Half-Life, you just play them and it's night and day.
I never like BioShock. I never felt like I was never thinking on a mission like, oh, this is getting long. When you play BioShock, like you never have that feeling, but the
story's fluid and it keeps you going.
The pacing's really good. Like the pacing in Atomic Hearts. Oh my! Sometimes it almost takes the piss out of you. Like it knows it's taking too long.
Because
Like
it's taking ages.
Yeah, and then the comment will be like, "Oh, like one of the characters will make a comment about how annoying it is having to wait for that." It's like, yeah, it is. It is annoying, and you're like, it's completely your fault.
You've chosen to do this.
If you open this door, I'll walk through it.
Yeah, to get to the next part of your game.
Which undoubtedly is you talking for another 10 minutes.
Waiting for the next door to open.
Yeah,
well,
that was my big issue with it. Because there's so much in there, right? It's like a really nice dish, and then it's spoiled because you've just got some ingredients on it that shouldn't be in there.
Yeah, it's full of sweet corn. It's like, why have you put less sweet corn in this?
All over my lasagna.
Why have you done that? He's built with chunks of yellow sweet corn. Well, do you know what hasn't got loads of sweet corn in it? Company of Heroes 3.
I don't know if that's good enough to be a segue.
That's a segue and a half.
Usually it has to be relevant to the thing you're segueing into.
Wow. Facts, though,
close
isn't
enough,
it? Isn't covered in sweet corn.
Is it? They might have been sweet corn. I'm sure some of them had little.
They might have been eating corn, actually. Out of a little tin in Italy. So it's had some pretty mixed reviews, actually. I was looking at them the other day. So I brought it. I've managed to get it half price on CD keys for the digital copy.
Okay.
If you pre-ordered it like 2 weeks in advance, something like that. And the reviews came out, and they were like, some of them were 5s, 4s. I don't pay too much attention to score reviews personally. I normally would just read a review.
Apart from my ones.
Oh yeah. Yours are gospel, mate.
Yeah, so exactly. Yeah.
Yours are absolute gospel.
That's
so,
yeah.
But, I'm not gonna pay attention to some 4-star, 4 out of 10 review from some nobody like from IGN or GameSpot or some tripe like that.
Yeah. When you could be,
I'm going to Luke the Truth's YouTube channel. He does loot boxes out of 5 loot boxes out of 5. So, yeah, I've seen a few, and I thought, well, I've got it now. I'm going to play it anyway. I probably will love it, and I do love it.
Yeah,
is the first thing I want to say. It is very much just like Company Heroes 1 and 2. I don't think it doesn't really innovate on the core gameplay. If you're a fan of the first one and the second one, then you probably will love the third one. But for the battles, the skirmishes, the missions that you do in the campaign.
Playing devil's advocate, would you want it to deviate too much though? Because if remember what was the Warhammer one called? Not Total
Dawn of War.
Dawn of War.
Same in it, Relic.
And the first 2 were very popular, and then they switched it up on the third one, and everyone hated it, didn't they?
Yeah, exactly. And notoriously, Command and Conquer 4, which was just, it was terrible. Again, we're celebrating video games, but there is some guff ones. Yeah, there's allowed to be bad. There's objectively bad video games out there. It's fine.
Some are so bad that they're good. It goes like, it's a big circle. It's a big circle.
Yeah.
You just land somewhere on it.
Yeah, exactly. But to answer your question, I the thing is, though, I think they've innovated in terms of what they're doing with the campaign. In terms of, so I don't know if you know much about it, but. In the first one and the second one, you just play a mission. You start the campaign, you play a mission, and then you just go on to the next mission.
Yeah.
And you go on to the next mission. There's no in between.
Yeah, and you need to get the medals and stuff in between.
Yeah. So, Company Heroes 3, the main campaign is like the Italian front.
Yeah. Okay.
So, like the liberation of Italy. But you have an overworld kind of map of Italy, and you're then like, it's almost like a meta game where you're moving like your companies around the map in real time. Sorry, it's turn based. Sorry, the overworld map. Sorry,
yeah.
And you're taking turns against the AI, and you can it's classic board gamey. Like you can only move so far if you only have so many move points. You have abilities you can use, and you basically got to capture and like conquests over Italy. And certain towns that you capture will have like a mission attached to them.
Yeah.
Whereas others, you just capture them and then you take your go and then you move along. So, but there's quite a few. There's quite a few campaign missions. I didn't actually get an exact total, but it must have been like 15, 20 actual campaign missions with their own dedicated level and map and set of objectives.
It's quite big then.
Yeah, it's massive. I put like 25 hours into it last week, and
I see which one you gave more time to then, out of that and Atomic Heart.
I know, yeah.
After knowing we were discussing it on the podcast, 25 hours in Company Heroes and a measly 5 to round it out for Atomic Heart. Was it?
Yeah, 30 hours in total. Well, I liked one and not the other. So my only issue with it is that the overworld map is well buggy.
Okay.
Seriously buggy to the point where you just use an ability and it doesn't do anything. Like you use it and it just seemingly does nothing.
Yeah, well, stuff's probably less reliable. That's more realistic. Sometimes the mortars won't go off.
They could tell me it failed, but the actual main gameplay, so the maps, like you should get it because
I will get
Ross
it.
Ross got it, and we'll do some comp stomps, and I wouldn't mind playing it online as well.
I was going to say, have you tried the multiplayer?
I do love it. No, so this was the other thing I think people had an issue with. They don't from what I've seen, a lot of people don't think the units are very balanced yet. I didn't really get that because I was playing the campaign on normal, and I was not a Company Heroes veteran, but I was pretty good at the first two. Played them quite a lot, but
I sweat.
No, I'm not a sweat. I don't have time to be a sweat anymore, mate. I've got a full-time job. It's fucking rubbish. I miss being a sweat. The units apparently aren't that balanced, but I didn't really get to see it because on the campaign,
that's a hard task have too much trouble, though, isn't it?
Yeah, and that sort of stuff comes with time, doesn't it? That's going to come with time.
But it's also not like
and things like that.
It's not like like Command and Conquer where they're making up the units, so they can essentially go, right, well, here's like a bulky tank on each team, here's a fast tank on each team, here's like a rocket or light unit or whatever. Like they can
the thing is with Company Heroes, it's so finely balanced, and there's multiple.
It's also based on reality.
Trees you can go down.
So you've got to make everything like realistic, like they're real tanks, and those you can't just go, this country are underpowered. I'm just going to stick a quad cannon tiger tank on their side. That's not how it goes.
Throw them a bone. Yeah, so it is difficult, and there's multiple ways you can engage against the AI or against another player. If they go heavy armor quickly,
Tanya,
you'd be going like anti tank rather than heavy infantry, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So there's little minutiae to each game, each match you play, which is awesome. But again, I can see why people have complained about it, saying it's not very well balanced. Again, personally, I've not actually had that issue because I've just caned through the campaign. But what I have played, the 25 hours or so I have played, I thought it was wicked. If you like Company Heroes 1 and 2, you'll like this. If you can see past the bugs, they're not game-breaking bugs in the campaign, and probably by the time this airs, like in 5 years' time, they'll be patched out anyway, so don't worry about it. Now, speaking of Russians and strategy games,
we're
just going to quickly move on to a little topic for this week of your favourite strategy game.
Mm-hmm. Now,
I will put a question to you. What is the best real-time strategy, and why is it Red Alert 2? I just want to know what your favourite strategy game is, mate, because it's something that we both We both have an affinity for strategy games,
Yeah,
and
we
you're
do.
one of the, other than my brother, you're probably one of the only people I know that genuinely really likes playing a real time strategy as
Yeah.
much as I do. Do you
It's
have a
weird though because
favourite?
we almost came at it from different places. We've got our crossover, and to be honest, I'm trying to think in my head: is there an RTS I think that is better than Red Alert? Red Alert 2.
It's hard, isn't it?
I don't think there is one that's better than Red Alert 2. The thing is,
Nah.
like, Red Alert 1 was incredible. And it was such.
Yeah.
I was like, when did Red Alert 2 come out? 2000. So I was 10. I was like so getting into video games at that point.
Yeah. Same.
I was so on the video game hype train. um, and I remember getting Red Alert 2 on PC in one of those like mega boxes.
Yeah.
Do you
The
remember
big old
when they used to come in
boxes.
like a board game sized box?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And it had
Definitely.
a T-shirt and stuff in it.
Yeah.
And
And a
then the
map.
music, mate. The Frank
Yeah.
Klepacki, the composer.
Yeah. Frank Labaki.
Oh,
Legend.
mate, just unreal. And it's like it's mega cheese. It's like
Oh yeah,
absolute
but
mega
when you're
cheese.
10,
Is epic.
and that first cutscene, because I used to watch when I was younger. I used to watch the cutscenes just over and
Yeah,
over.
same.
Like
Yeah.
you'd leave the menu still. You know, in older games,
Yeah,
if you
yeah,
didn't do
yeah.
anything on the menu, it would just do the cutscenes again. I'd just
Yeah.
leave it and watch it if I'd played it enough.
Yeah.
And that first cutscene in Red Alert 2 with Hell March 2.0 and like the Kirov airships and like the squids and the
Mate, yeah, that's
submarines,
what I was
like,
gonna say. I thought it was
so good.
when I was younger. I thought it was so cool when you could get like the squids and the what was it, attack dolphins or whatever
Yeah,
they were
yeah,
called.
yeah.
Oh, mate, I just thought it was so good. It was so good. It was such like a step up for me in terms of RTS games. Because like Red Alert 1 was good, but it was more based on like the units and factions were like more similar to each other and stuff.
Well, also I think Red Alert 2 really put an emphasis on naval combat, where Tiberium Sun was a lot of Tiberium Sun was. I love Tiberium Sun as well, but it was where it's GDI Nod. It's more future.
Yeah.
It's more futuristic, isn't it? It's more like flying.
The one
mechs,
what's
hover,
the third
like
one
rather
called?
than naval combat.
The third of that series, the Tiberian.
Tiberium Wars.
Is that what it's called? Yeah, the one that had Ric Flair in it.
Who's Ric Flair?
Ric Flair from WWE.
I don't know who that is.
What do you mean?
Mate, I
don't
don't
know
watch
Ric-
wrestling.
No,
You
but
know
you
I
must
don't watch
not even when
wrestling.
you were a kid.
No, I've never been into it. Same as Blink 182, never been into it.
Mate, this is Ric Flair.
Who's he in Red Alert?
He's one of the generals in Red Alert 3, I think. In Command and Conquer
In
3.
Red Alert 3?
Command and Conquer 3, sorry. Tiberian. Oh my
No.
god.
Are you talking about generals?
Generals? No, it's not generals. He plays Douglas Hill, an American field commander who appears in the Commander's Challenge mode of Command and Conquer Red Alert 3 Uprising. It is Red Alert 3.
Oh, fair. Mate, fair dues. I don't think I've ever done that then. I don't think I've ever done the Commander Challenge thing.
I used to find that so funny because I didn't know he was going to be in it, and then I played that game, and I was like,
And he was
"Is that
there.
Ric Flair? Why is Ric Flair showing at me?"
But mate, like they've always had
Cameos.
actors that are, you know, fairly.
Yeah.
They had Tim Curry. Was
Yeah,
in
I
Red
know.
Alert 3.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it?
he was the premier, mate, from Premier. What the am I going on about? From Red Alert 3, and he's like got
From
that mental
Premier 3.
line where he says, "Oh, I'm going somewhere that capitalism can't follow me," and he's like, "Space." It's just mental, absolute mental case.
Yeah, I mean, in Red Alert 2 probably takes the cake for me on RTSs. But I was going to say, like, I think we came at RTSs from quite different places.
Yeah,
Like,
what makes you say that?
Because I used to play a lot of Cossacks. Did you ever play Cossacks?
I never played it, mate. No.
Yeah, I used to play a lot of Cossacks because my dad used to play that as well. It's more like, I don't know. more like Age of Empires sort of vibe, I suppose. I
Yeah,
used to play a lot of Age of Empires. I used to play Star Wars Galactic Battlegrounds. Did you ever play that?
never played it. No, it's one of those ones I've never played. And
Oh
I don't
mate,
know
I used to
how.
love it. I used to. I've got it on Steam now. I wonder if it's
Yeah,
multiplayer.
never played it. I know of it. Um,
It's literally an Age of Empires reskin. It's exactly
yeah,
the same.
yeah. So I was always Command and Conquer, Age of Empires, StarCraft. I even found StarCraft a bit too hard when I was younger. But yeah, those are the ones that I grew up on. And then the thing is, though, Command and Conquer, they released a good Command and Conquer pretty much for, for like
Oh
10
mate, they had a
years, I'd
banging
say.
run,
10,
didn't they?
yeah, even when Westwood got taken over by EA, that like Generals is so good.
Yeah, they had like the
Command
good
and Conquer
thing
3
going
is really
as
good. Red
well,
Alert 3 is really good.
where they had like two sort of different series running at the same time. You know,
Yeah, it was
and
like in
stuff.
tandem. You'd have one and then the other. And
A
then
bit
one.
like when they were
Yeah,
doing the Call of Duty, taking turns developing that, and in its heyday when both of them were really good,
yeah,
but
exactly.
like
Yeah,
very different still.
but they both came out within a year of each other, or a
Yeah,
year or two within each other. Yeah, and then Company Heroes obviously is the next one, which I think I've probably played the most. But yeah, for me, Red Alert 2, it's got the nostalgia as well
hmm
attached to it. I love it. I love everything about that game. Worst thing is that it's really hard to play now because I've tried playing it. It doesn't work on Origin. It doesn't work on EA Play.
mate. I swear nothing works on Origin. Again, not
Oh,
to be
it's
negative,
just
but
I know, but it's just get rid of it. Just get rid of it. You got EA Play now. Just get rid of Origin. You literally don't need it anymore. And why can't I play Red Alert 2? I just want to play Red Alert 2. The issue is, unless I've got an old computer with a 1024 by 768 monitor, it looks ridiculous. It's like tiny in the middle of the screen.
can you imagine it on my
Um,
monitor?
yeah, exactly. It'd just be like a little cube in the corner. But yeah, so if anyone from EA is listening, can you sort out
There's a burning
Red Alert
desire
2
to get Red Alert 2 sorted out. You've got queues of people
so it
waiting
works
to
on a
play it.
1080? Yeah, so it works on a 1080p monitor.
Don't
I
worry
actually
about
think
fixing
though,
the games in the new the bugs in the new FIFA game. Sort
yeah,
Red
like
Alert 2 out from 2000.
yeah, yeah. Don't worry about the 50 million people that brought FIFA. Just get Red Alert 2 out there, mate. Yeah, but I do think that they're going to I think they'll remake Tiberium Sun and Red Alert 2 anyway. The same team at Petroglyph that did the remaster.
Yeah, it was good. I
Which would be
enjoyed that.
awesome because they're probably my two favourite Red Alert Command and Conquer games. Right, I think we'll wrap it up there because I was going to do new game releases for the week commencing 6th of March, but because I had some issues with the RSS stuff and I couldn't get the podcast out in time, we've had to record this late and I can't do it. So that segment will be in the next episode. So if that's not a reason
That segment's
to come
scrapped.
back.
That segment's
that's-
in the bin.
That's not scrapped. It just hasn't started yet. So if that's not a reason to come back for episode 3 for new game releases of the following week, then what are you doing? There's no point in even listening, is there?
Yeah, maybe they want to know what came out last week.
Nah.
Only it's
Look
a
forward.
niche.
Look forward,
audience,
not
though, isn't
backs.
it?
Yeah. You can just
This
Google
is
it,
the
don't worry about
podcast for things that happened last week.
it. Yeah, the olds podcast. Socials. What you got out this week, Conall?
What have I got out this week? So we're off back
on the channel.
off the heels of a stupid video that I did, which has now actually got a few views, which paid off in the end. Where I spent £300 in CS:GO to see how much money I got back.
That's mental.
Spoilers. I lost a lot of money. So that came out last week, but the video's doing well, so good to see that. And then coming out next week, we've got episode 4 of the Sniper Elite 5 playthrough that me and you did.
Yeah, awesome. It's been really funny. It was really fun doing that. That was one of the best co-op games we played in a while, I think.
Yeah, it was good fun, and we made an absolute mess of a lot of it.
We royally fucked up basically every level. Actually, I think there was a couple towards the end where we were dead serious and we were really stealthy.
Mate, this next one, number 4,
really
we
good.
did quite well. This is the It's the best performance we put in out of all the ones that are released so far, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean that's a low bar, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's very low.
You could step over were shocking. The beach one, the one where we were stuck on the beach for ages, under the bridge, trying to get into that castle. That castle was one of the biggest levels I've ever seen.
Mate, it took us about 2.5 hours.
It was like a From Software game. That one castle.
It was enormous, wasn't it? That was like an open world
ridiculous.
game in that level.
Yeah, and it's like, you just got to do this whole level without getting seen or without killing anyone. It's like, are you sure? That's never happening. That is never going to happen. But it was fun, even though we were getting caned on that beach for about 10 minutes straight.
Yeah, so that's out this weekend on Loot the Truth on YouTube.
Wicked. Hey There Reflect is on the Instagram and the Twitters. They'll be starting probably this week as well. Other than that, I think that's all we've got time for today. But yeah, we'll see you in the next episode. Thanks, Con, for joining me again.
No worries, mate. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.